Good morning, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving wherever you are. It's the Tom and Shane podcast. Happy Thanksgiving podcast. We appreciate you being with us. And, well, whoops, banging my thing here, Shane. I got to be careful. Get, Getting so excited here about Thanksgiving. I don't know what I'm doing. So, you've already had your Thanksgiving in Canada.
That's right. We had it
Yeah.
back in October. Yes,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
second Monday of October.
Yeah. Why is it in October? What's the history of the Canada Thanksgiving?
Well, it was sort of in concert with remembrance of World War One and World War Two, but it goes back to the 1850s. It's just when it was decided we would celebrate our Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, we've got some trivia for you. You want to start us off, Shane?
Yeah, I guess the most important thing we're all watching, or you might, with particularly children or grandchildren, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Mm-hmm.
It began in 1924, generally 2 to 3 miles long, so it's a long
Yeah.
parade, and
Yeah.
it
It's a.
it
Go ahead.
became It became famous for its balloons, and
Mm-hmm.
of course, there's a big tradition for people in New York City. Of course, yesterday was to take the children down to Central Park and watch them inflate the giant balloons. But one thing people may not
Yeah.
know is Gimbel's store. Gimbel's and Macy's were the two principal retail stores in the
Mm-hmm.
19th and 20th century of New York. And Gimbel's, was founded in 1842. So, over 180 years ago. It went defunct 35 years ago in 1987. I had the opportunity in 1985 to go to New York at Christmas time and see their windows. That's what they were famous for, those their incredible
Mm-hmm.
windows. But the reason I bring up Gimbals is because they had actually the original Thanksgiving Day Parade, which started in 1920. And then Macy's parade came along in
Mm-hmm.
24. But it's sort of interesting to recall, the fact that the real Macy or the real, Thanksgiving Day parade was a Gimbals parade.
Was a Gimbel's parade. Yeah. So, well, Macy's almost went defunct here not too long ago, Shane. If you remember
That's
back
right.
during the Great Recession,
That's right.
Macy's closed a bunch of stores. They were in they were in trouble. So I don't know. Well, the first national Thanksgiving in the United States was proclaimed by the Continental Congress in 1777. So that was back in the day. Of course, 1776, we became a nation, I guess, or declared our independence from England. And well, I guess the Continental Congress was thankful, Shane, that we we had that independence coming.
I don't know. Is that me?
What?
Oh, the background sounds. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because your first four presidents, of course, recognized it as a holiday,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what made it so special. But it wasn't until 1947 when Truman made it a national holiday.
Yeah. So. Well, after 1815, the presidents ceased their proclamations, but by 1850, almost every territory celebrated Thanksgiving. So, yeah, we were by the 10 years before the Civil War, 15 years before the Civil War, I guess. Uh, we were rocking and rolling with Thanksgiving.
That's right. And the wonderful thing about it is that it's become a national retail celebration too.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow, of course, is Black Friday. That's what it became known
Yep.
as, and
And Cyber Monday.
and then Cyber Monday, 20 years ago with the internet. So
Mm-hmm.
both Friday and Monday are the two big retail days of the year, and this is why this holiday season you're seeing a potential rebound in the market, which is a great opportunity for people to get out, take
Yeah.
advantage of this opportunity because if there's a rally between now and Christmas in the market, like there may be in
Mm-hmm.
retailing, you want to take advantage of it. But the amazing thing is it'll be a good Christmas holiday. The U.S. American people, the credit card debt is about 1.2 trillion, but
Yeah,
they paid down
they'll
like
go.
600. They paid down
Yeah,
like 600 million of it,
yeah. You're
or
not going to
600 billion.
shortchange mom.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, also too, Shane, it's we should note also that the biggest retail day of the year for alcohol sales is the day before Thanksgiving because you got to
Of
load up
course.
and get all the relatives bombed around the table on Thanksgiving. Got to have the wine,
That's
got to
right.
have the after dinner drinks and the cocktails and the beer, and even bigger than the Super Bowl or 4th of July or any other holiday. We booze it up on Thanksgiving.
Well, the great Chef Childs,
Mhm.
she announced, in the 20th century, back in the 1950s, that you should only have one appetizer on Thanksgiving Day because,
Oh wow,
of
yeah.
course, what you're going to eat later would probably amount to somewhere between 5 and 10,000 calories of food.
Yeah. Well, back in 1827, Sarah Joseph Hale, editor of the popular women's magazine Godey's Ladies Book, began a
Yeah,
campaign. Yeah, Godey's Ladies Book. Who knew? Began a
that's right.
campaign to make Thanksgiving a national holiday, and she also wrote the "Mary Had a Little Lamb" that you recited as a kid, probably.
That's right.
All right. So, what happened in 1863, Shane?
I'm trying to get there. You may have to start.
Seven. Number
I'm
seven.
getting. I know, but I'm getting interrupted with all these ads because of this. So you go ahead and handle
Why are
that.
you getting ads?
I don't know. I'm just getting, and it's got sound, so I'm trying to
Okay.
clean up.
Oh man, no, you
Seven
you
is 1863. Hale was able to convince President Lincoln, he was Secretary of State at the time, that Thanksgiving might unite the country after the Civil War. So Lincoln did declare two national Thanksgivings that year, August 6th,
Mhm.
celebrating the victory at Gettysburg, and then, of course, last Thursday in November, which became the tradition, was the last
Yeah,
Thursday of November.
yeah. I think he was president in 1863.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
62, he got elected. That was his first year.
yeah, I know.
And talk about a transition of power. I mean, between 62 when he got elected and inaugurated, the Civil War started. This guy
Mhm.
was busy.
He was a busy guy. So, well, in order to help the country economically, FDR lengthened the Christmas shopping season by declaring Thanksgiving for the next to last Thursday in November. And in 1941, Congress permanently established the holiday as the fourth Thursday in Thanksgiving. Now, FDR created a massive uh, problem, Shane.
Yes,
Calendar makers had
that's
already made
right.
calendars with the last Thursday, and football, the big football games on Thanksgiving had been in there as well. So he
That's
created
right.
quite a mess. Yeah, so it was yeah, I don't know. He took some heat for that too, but yeah, I personally wouldn't mind if it was the third Thursday. Get a little more retail selling time in there. Wouldn't be a
That's right.
bad
And
thing.
and the cool thing about it, and everybody knows it, and I'm excited because there's four games today. But the
Yeah.
NFL started a tradition of the Detroit Lions and Dallas Cowboys playing in Detroit,
Hmm.
as an annual game on Thanksgiving. 83 years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. They've been
so
playing
it's
a long time.
yeah. So the Cowboys, it's their 55th year. And
Hmm.
I'm sorry, there's three games. Bills are playing the Lions today, and the Giants and Cowboys, and the Patriots and Vikings. So it's an
Yeah.
all-day NFL turkey
Hmm.
fest. So there you go. You
It
can
will be. Yeah.
you can have your
Well,
turkey early, and then have your hot turkey sandwich later.
yeah, there you go. Well, and also too, it's a burden for these teams because they play on Sunday and then they got 4 days to get ready for another game, but they get a long
That's
spell
right.
of 10 days till the next Sunday. So uh, it's good and bad, I guess. So
Yeah, that's right. Well, Swanson was the one that helped initiate the annual turkey. back
Yeah.
in 1953, because they started providing them and selling them packaged in
Mhm.
aluminum trays. So you know with side meals as well,
Mhm.
if you like. But the 260 tons they sold in 1953, and it was a big deal. Then they
Mhm.
came up with, of course, their TV dinner. Swanson's TV dinner was born, and it
Mhm.
became a staple of meals. Was the Swanson meal in the 1950s? Buy them, you get different types of meals besides turkey, and you slide them in the oven and warm them up, particularly for retired people and older people. And
Yeah.
it's sort of just become one of these amazing traditions of eating is Swanson's, and of course, till they went belly up, and then the Swanson meal disappeared.
Yeah. Well, still around. We still have Swanson in
Yeah.
our freezers, but well, you left out the most important part, Shane.
What's that?
A salesman came up with this idea and told them they should
Yeah.
the 260 tons of turkeys was a mistake. They somebody bought too much of the turkey, so the salesman suggested they should put it in aluminum trays with side dishes, and they sold the heck out of it. So
Yeah, and
there you
his
go.
idea, apparently, his epiphany was flying on an airline, and he got
Yeah,
an airline meal on the train. He thought, oh, we could
yeah,
do this.
we could do this. Why not? Yeah. Well, according to the Book of World Records, the heaviest turkey, Shane, weighed 86 pounds. Wow.
How did it walk around on those scrawny little legs?
I don't know, man.
I mean, turkeys can fly, but not very far. I
Well,
think it's
yeah, that's
you
for
know,
sure. Yeah. Well, as Les Nessman found out on WKRP Cincinnati,
yeah,
I
that's
thought, as
right.
God of my witness,
And
I
it's
thought
great too
turkeys could fly.
because yeah, it's like it's for Halloween when people talk about the biggest pumpkins. This year a
Oh,
guy
yeah.
had one so big, it was like over 600 pounds. He cut out and floated down a river in it. Now,
Wow.
how funny is it? Yeah. I don't see that. I don't see someone riding a big turkey down a river, but I guess they
Yeah.
could.
Tell us about the green bean casserole, Shane.
Well, it's one of those big ones, and if you put almond shavings in it, it's not well. It's just amazing. Child's put it in her um, um, recipe book, and it's big help when it originally came out with Campbell's soup because of the 20
Mm-hmm.
million worth of cream of mushroom soup that people bought to, to put in casseroles, and but it's a great addition. It's like using Campbell's soup
Mm-hmm.
instead of paste in your tomato sauce.
Yeah. Well, the big thing, I guess, if you want to sell a product, make a recipe out of it, Shane. So,
That's right, exactly. It's
so
always
yeah, 50
that's our
years ago,
basis of recipe. Yeah.
20 million bucks worth of cream of mushroom soup. So everybody's got that going for them. So, well, cranberries were probably not eaten at the first Thanksgiving as they were too bitter. Native Americans used the berries as a dye and to heal wounds, Shane. So Thanksgiving cranberry sauce came along a little later after it was refined and sweetened a little bit, I guess, and made better.
That's right. And the remarkable thing about cranberries, and one of the reasons they've been made successful as a addition to the meal is they're grown in large areas, um, like blueberries and different shrub berries. But cranberries are unique because when they're ready to ripen, they flood the area, and the cranberries come off the bush and float to the surface. So guys get out there in those big pants with
Mm-hmm.
with nets and just scoop them up and collect them. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a less expensive or least expensive of the sides that you get, which is why they're
Mm-hmm.
still not as expensive. I like cranberry sauce myself.
Yeah. I like
I
the
don't know you,
cranberries
but
themselves better. I don't know. It's too much like
you
Jello.
like you like biting on.
Yeah, I do. I like biting stuff. So
Yeah,
cranberry sauce too much like Jello. I don't know. You
that's right.
push it and it wiggles. I don't know. I don't like that on my plate. So All right, Thanksgiving, busiest travel day of the year, Shane. They were reporting it's almost pre-pandemic numbers that people are traveling this Thanksgiving.
That's right, and the advent of the car and the Model T particularly is what caused that on over 120 years ago.
Mhm.
So people could get in their car, and that was probably when you think about all the things that create these holidays, and the impact. Obviously the cars had a huge one.
Oh yeah.
So unfortunately for the government, your president, everyone's going to be reminded today of how expensive it is because of gas to visit grandma or grandpa, right?
I know it's going to be pricey. Well, airlines too. Airlines
That's right.
are
And
certainly
what
full, but it's
and
expensive.
and another reason for that too is it's like a 5 day holiday because people usually take
Yeah.
Monday off as well, and because it's on a Thursday, it's unlike Christmas and
Yeah.
New Year's, which are on the same day of the week.
Hmm.
But they don't always fall on a Thursday or Wednesday. I
Yeah.
mean, when they do, it
Mhm.
expands that holiday to people that work.
Mhm.
But that's another reason why it's such a busy travel day because people fly and they go fly on Wednesday, get home on Monday, sort of thing. And
Yeah.
it's like a 4 or 5 day holiday for people.
Yeah. I'm wondering why they didn't make it on Friday. As opposed to Thursday. Seems like that would be a no-brainer. You're off a full weekend to
Yeah,
enjoy your holiday. But there are a lot of people, of course, that work on Thanksgiving: firemen, police, border, all the law enforcement people, and doctors and nurses, and all those folks work on Thanksgiving.
that's right. And the first Thanksgiving was actually a 3 day holiday. They had the Sabbath
Mhm.
day where they prayed,
Mhm.
and I think that's why it's on Thursday. They had the Wednesday Sabbath and the celebration on Thursday, and
Yeah.
then Friday was the day that they would visit their neighbors, the
Mhm.
Wampapanga, Native Americans that taught them to grow maize, which is what saved them. Corn was it,
Mhm.
baby.
Yeah.
If they hadn't had that, they would have starved. And great thing about maize, corn, is you can store it. It's like potatoes, and
Yeah.
but potatoes didn't fare well in that climate, although they tried to grow them. But maize was the thing that saved them, and the
Mhm.
Indians showed them how to grow it. And
Yeah.
that and wheat were the two mainstays of the people on the
Mhm.
Mayflower who didn't have a good winter. I mean,
No, they didn't.
they came. The Mayflower, of course, was a ship. Imagine this, 90 feet long,
Mhm.
and it had 3 decks, and they, but I mean, there was like 155 people came over on it, and
Mhm.
they left England because they were members of the Church of England and Puritans, and they were harassed. And
Mhm.
you'd think that today, instead of saying they're terrible people, the woke people would say these people came here to get freedom,
Yeah.
from being harassed. But no, no, no. And there was never really disenchantment between the original natives, even those of Jamestown,
Mhm.
because the Native Americans had some pretty remarkable government of their own at the time. I mean, the tribes were well established, and it wasn't until the 1800s and Jackson that created the problem.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, Jingle Bells was originally a Thanksgiving song, Shane, composed for children to sing in a Boston Sunday school celebration. So you don't
Imagine
think of
that.
Jingle Bells as being November, but maybe so. It doesn't have any reference to a holiday in it, so I guess it's appropriate. So maybe we should start singing Jingle Bells on Thanksgiving as a tradition. I
You
don't know. What do
think?
you think?
I don't
What do you
know.
What do you think?
I think that's a pretty cool tradition.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about it is that this sets off the beginning of the holidays, Thanksgiving,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So between now and of course Christmas Day is the great commercial year part of the year. That's why
Yeah.
retailers tend to do really well, and and in anticipation of their sales, in anticipation of the outcome of their sales, their stocks tend to go up, and it's an interesting situation for the economy because, oh my goodness, consumption is accelerated between now and Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the other sad thing is once we get the holidays out of the way, Shane, it's 6 months before we get another 3-day holiday. Well, for the working people, the banks get they get Arbor Day and Sparrow Day and Pancake Day off, but the rest of us have to endure almost 6 full months before we get another 3-day weekend. So it's pretty tough, and winter's in there too. So
That's right.
it sucks. Well,
Yeah. Go
it
ahead.
wasn't it wasn't until a fictional account appeared in the best-selling Standish of Standish. Oh, that makes sense. Standish of Standish, of course, 1889. Story about the Pilgrims, that the Pilgrims' first Thanksgiving became associated with the holiday. However, this idea did not become popular until after World War II.
Again, that's what's so amazing about the 20th century is how a lot of American traditions became essential.
Yeah.
They became essential to the whole issue of different things that went on, and what was going on in the country. And I think that one of the things that is traditional to your country is like election day. It's the first Tuesday of November, and so I think that it's become a very important aspect of your culture that you have all these standing days of holiday. From
Mhm.
Thanksgiving's Day to Christmas, and you have Valentine's Day, and Halloween, and all these different
Mhm.
remarkable things
Yeah.
that bring people together and create a huge amount of consumption. The
Oh,
billions
yeah.
spent are just
I know
that. It's sort of that's what established your economy.
yeah, we'll spend more money on Thanksgiving than Biden sent to Ukraine.
That's right.
Probably.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's astounding. And tomorrow, wow.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, our favorite thing to wait and see, in the news, are the wedding dresses that were made famous in Chicago that were on sale, right?
I know. Well, Sandy says, "Happy Thanksgiving, gentlemen. If you were near, I'd cook for you both." There you go, Shane. So Sandy's going to take care of us.
That's
Can't
right.
beat that.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
this is one of those times that you people can be creative and create side dishes, and that
Hmm.
become really popular. I mean,
Yeah.
it's amazing too because even a small family of four or more will have anywhere from a 15 to 20 pound turkey.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then of course 30 years ago it became popular to deep fry them. Of course, the big
Mhm.
mistake people made initially not knowing was don't put them in frozen, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, the outside looks great. The inside is raw meat. So, yeah.
And the great
And
thing about turkey is it's very lean, meaning
yeah.
there's not a lot of fat in the meat, so
Hmm.
it provides more protein than even chicken or beef.
Yeah, it does.
And
Yeah.
people should eat it more often because you can eat
Mhm.
on a turkey or from a turkey for several
For a
days,
long time. Yeah.
and then you can create a soup. I mean, when I traveled
Mhm.
in Eastern Europe, they
Mhm.
always had a pot in the back right corner on the stove all the time, and they
Mhm.
put everything in it.
Yeah.
They didn't waste anything. All the cuttings from vegetables, and all the
Mhm.
cuttings from meats and everything. And it didn't matter. Whatever was left, the fat, everything went into
Yeah.
the pot, and
Mhm.
they would use that to create, have a base to create soups, because soups were always a big thing, since the Phoenicians
Mhm.
and the Egyptians. Soup was a major meal,
Oh, it
and
was.
it was
Yeah.
the Americans that came up with the concept of stew. So turkey
Yeah.
stew is great.
Yeah. Well, turkey chili too. They put it in chili, and yeah, it'll go in
Yes,
anything. Go in
yeah.
salads. You can,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
you can use virtually use it for days. You can eat on it for days, and it's good for you.
that's
That's the
right.
good thing. Yeah, there's only two
And
accounts of the
oh, I'm sorry.
1621 Thanksgiving, Shane. Edward Winslow wrote about it in a letter dated December 12th, 1621. published in
Yeah,
1622. And William Bradford wrote about it in his History of the Plymouth Plantation. Bradford's account mentions turkey as one of the meats eaten. I think the Indians brought deer and lobster and some other tasty delicacies.
that's right. And a lot of vegetables that again became new to the pilgrims. Like
Mhm.
melons and
Yeah.
things like zucchini. Stem
Hmm.
vegetables became they brought to them. So yeah, there's so many remarkable things about this that made
Hmm.
this possible for people to grow and create a functional society, and then they ended up exporting turkeys to home because
Yeah.
they
Hmm.
could you could keep them, you could cook them and keep them and store
Yeah.
them on a ship,
Hmm.
because it was a 100-day boat cruise across the ocean, of course, back then.
Yeah. Well,
three
before they
months
had
that's a long
balloons, yeah, before they had balloons, the first Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, as we mentioned earlier, 1924, 400 Macy employees marched from Convent Avenue to 145th Street in New York with animals from the Central Park Zoo. Shane, they had, I guess, giraffes and elephants and who knows what all they brought from the zoo. Snakes, probably. Snakes were probably big.
Oh, that's right. And yeah, another thing that I guess this would be sort of like a precursor to your national parks was
Mhm.
the Plymouth, Massachusetts celebration of
Yeah.
Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
where it started early in the 19th century, and people would
Mhm.
buy tickets to get there, and they'd have like the Quebecers have in the celebration of Maple, where they'd have big tables of food and everyone for people to
Oh, yeah.
celebrate around. And
Mhm.
again, celebrations are such a remarkable thing and to the benefit of so many people. It's one of these things that you're so grateful for.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, it took 66 days for the Mayflower to cross the Atlantic Ocean, 101 men, women, and children on board. I'm surprised it only took 66 days, Shane. That's 2 months. That doesn't seem, when you look at the expanse of the Atlantic Ocean, they made pretty good time, I would say.
Well, they did it, but it would always, of course, be determined by the winds, right? That
Well, yeah.
so
I mean, they
sometimes
must
they
have
had
had
to
great
wait. Well,
winds.
not
They must have had
wait,
great
wait.
winds.
That, yeah, that's right. They would go to the Virgin Islands and sort of jump off from there and then head across the Great
Mhm.
Atlantic, which it's not easy, not easy.
No, it wasn't an easy trip, I'm sure. I I always wondered how much food you plan on because you assume how long the trip is going to take because somebody made it before, but you know, just rationing the food for 101 people on a 94 foot boat. Uh, that's a logistical anomaly there. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's just when you think of how small these boats were, in the
Yeah,
for 400 years. I mean, it's just it's incredible. But
yeah.
man
Bezos has
has
got a
this.
200-foot yacht. Go ahead.
That's right.
So,
Inherent desire to travel and explore. I mean,
mhm.
it's a wonderful thing. And today, you travel.
Oops, we lost Shane. Well, he'll be back, I hope. I don't know where he went, but we lost him. So hopefully he'll pop back in. As we mentioned earlier, the Pilgrims were also called Puritans because they wanted to purify the Church of England from a Catholic influence. Those that wanted to separate from the Anglican Church, of course, were called separatists, and that's what we refer to them as today. Some facts about turkeys: a 15-pound turkey, 70% white meat, 30% dark meat. Turkey has more protein than chicken or beef that we mentioned earlier. And turkeys have about 3,500 feathers at maturity. And the five most popular ways to serve leftover turkey: a sandwich, stew, chili, or soup, casseroles, and a burger. So those are some of the fun things you can do with your leftovers on Thanksgiving. I think he came back. He is back. There he is. Where'd you go?
It's been really weird. I've had these window popping up, and I don't know from where, and I can hear them, but you can't. And then all of a sudden, I got booted. So
yeah, so
I recovered. So hopefully,
okay, good. So,
it's a good thing.
yeah,
Just in time for football. I recovered just in time for football.
Yeah, you need an ad protection thing on your computer. Let's see, we're on 21, Shane. Native Americans and colonists might not have actually had turkey during their Thanksgiving feast. The tribes reportedly brought deer to the celebration, and they also added swan, seal, lobsters, and other seafood to make the Christmas that much more enjoyable. I swan and I don't know, Shane. Not a big seafood eater on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's right. And the other interesting aspects of the turkey is why do they gobble? They gobble because they want to attract other female turkeys. All birds do that. And then the male, it shows off their big feathers and wings. And, typical male, right? Look at how well dressed I am.
I know.
You're
ready.
You want me as your lover because I'm the best dressed guy.
You're ready for the you dress the part. That's for sure.
That's right. Exactly.
Well, part of the Plymouth Mass still looks the same way it did in the 19th century, Shane. You can even order a ticket as early as June to visit the historic attraction site, and you can have your Thanksgiving dinner there. What a deal was that?
And in 1896, they had their first turkey trot. Do you know what that is?
Okay.
It's a race.
It's
a race of the fastest turkey. And of course, that ended up creating mouse and rat races and all kinds of toad races.
Oh, yeah, and all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, created a whole new industry.
There you go. Well, the first ever Thanksgiving parade balloons were made by the Good Housekeeping illustrator Tony Sarge, who seemingly had a passion for puppetry too. He made the first balloons float, made the balloon floats that came to life in the 1927 parade. So there you go.
Yeah, and it's sort of interesting to know that people may not know this. The principal utensil at the time was a spoon. The fork was developed by the Phoenicians and the Egyptians, but it wasn't really popular with Europeans until the 18th century, and then it was a two-tong spoon. Now you have a two-tong spoon, a three-tong spoon, and a four-tong spoon.
Yeah.
So one is for seafood, and one's for salad, and one's for the main course. And of course, you learn all these things when you go to restaurant school.
Well, yeah. Well, why do the Chinese still use chopsticks? I mean, they've seen the fork. They've seen the fork and they've seen the spoon. Why these two sticks?
Yeah, that's right. It's a remarkable thing, and of course, the West picked it up in the 19th century as fashionable. But both my girls could use chopsticks by the time they're 6 or 7 because we went to have sushi every week. So they had to learn that. But most people, up until the 18th century, ate with their hands.
Oh yeah,
which we all know is a practical result of survival. Just you don't, there was no real table manners.
Well, that's for sure. Yeah.
You just pick pieces of the bird up and ate it.
Oh yeah, no, we used to eat sushi all the time. I'd pick it up after work. We'd take it home, fry it up. It was great.
That's right. And by the way, just the wattle on a turkey is the skin below the neck. Everyone compares some people's necks to a turkey. Well, it's when you do it, it's a wattle. If someone has a sagging neck, skin under the, it's a
Yeah.
lot of, and the top of the beak, that little red brown top on the beak is it's called the snood.
Yeah. There you go. Well, our last item of the day, the Butterball Turkey Talk Line receives over 100,000 calls every season. The company is an underrated Thanksgiving superhero. They explain to at least 100,000 people why their turkey isn't turning out as expected, Shane. It's
That's
not.
right.
It's not. Your dinner is not going to be good. So we're sorry about that. But
And my final turkey news is that the feathers on the male's turkey breast are called beard or a tassel. So
oh,
imagine
okay.
that.
We
So
got to know that. Yeah.
yeah, they have a wattle and it has feathers. It's a beard or tassel.
There you go. Brian says, "Happy low frying buzzard day." We're happy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brian. Glad to have you along with us. Appreciate that very much. So, all right, Shane, what are you thankful for, man?
Well,
I realize it's
turkey.
not your Thanksgiving day, but
I realize turkey. Turkeys are really smart, and one of the phenomenal things about turkeys is their eyesight. They can see
yeah,
270 degrees, which we
yeah,
can't.
yeah,
Our peripheral vision is only 90,
yeah.
and so that's why they're really hard. They're really hard to hunt, and most people will tell you that shooting a turkey or catching a turkey or finding a turkey isn't easy
Mhm.
because they see you coming.
They do see you coming, that's for sure. So, all right. Well, this Thanksgiving Day, Shane, I got to be thankful for you, great friend. Make
Thank you, Tom.
radio easier. You make these podcasts better. Um,
You're too
20
kind. Thank you.
years, 20 years, at least 15 on the air, I think,
That's
and
right.
doing these podcasts twice a week. Really great to have you here. And Randall says, "Happy Thanksgiving to you all." Thanks, Randall, for joining us. We appreciate that very much. And
And we want to welcome Sandy back,
yeah,
and know that she's feeling better. And
yeah,
all the people that are our family, happy Thanksgiving.
that's for sure.
You've made this possible. You've stood with us and shared.
Yeah.
I hope our conversations, which we really
Hmm.
appreciate. And we're hoping in the new year we'll be able to have more third party participants.
Yeah.
That would be fun
Sure.
to do that
Yeah.
and continue adding to our library because it's
Hmm.
virtual, but it's forever.
It is
So thank you,
forever.
Tom.
Yeah.
You made my life special with the podcast and Saturday show.
Yeah. Amen
I
to that.
do a lot of research just to
I know you do.
wonder about what we can talk about and learn every
Hmm.
day. Which I'm not sure I would if I didn't have this show to enjoy as much
Yeah.
as I do. So
Yeah. For
very
sure.
grateful to you.
Hmm.
It's just been a wonderful time and a giggle too.
It is fun. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Well, some of the things we're thankful for, we'll be very thankful if you subscribe on YouTube. we'll,
Yeah.
we'll be happy about that. We'll also be very thankful if you leave a comment on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook, where we are live every Tuesday and Thursday. We would greatly appreciate that. We're very thankful for your continued support of both the radio show and our podcast here. We really appreciate you guys very much being here with us, and it's a lot of fun. We'd be very thankful if you listen to our radio show wherever you are. Look at the crawl below. Instructions are there. We're live on the radio every Saturday, 8 to 11 Mountain Time. All you got to do is click on listen, kmmsam.com, and click listen now. Nothing to join, nothing to tell us who you are or anything about it. You can call us, you can text us. It is wonderful.
And I just
And
want to, if I could, Einstein said at the end of his life after becoming a Christian that if you don't believe in miracles, go to your front door, open it, look out, and everything you see is a miracle.
yeah,
Meaning, literally, everything that we see every moment of every
mhm,
day is a miracle, whether it's
it's
man-made or naturally made. And so, for the 21st century, to give a couple of old guys, the
yeah,
opportunity to be able to do this on a global basis. Every time we
yeah,
do this, that one of the first things is I'm getting ready in the morning with all my technology and on two
mhm,
computers and
yeah,
my earphones and my diary and my
mhm,
microphone and making sure it all looks right. My shirt, my background. I just
Yeah.
go, well, this is incredible. I'm going to go around the world with my friend Tom.
Yeah, that's
It's like
it.
traveling around the sun every year for
Mhm.
your birthday. It's a
Yeah,
miracle.
it
Thank
is.
you.
Yeah, it is a miracle.
It is.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing that everybody can do what we're doing right now.
That's right.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah, we use StreamYard, by the way. There's a free link in the description below for a free version if you want to check that out. You'll certainly enjoy using it. It's easy to use. It's pretty seamless. It's better than the other ones that we've used in the past, and we sincerely hope that you'll subscribe and ring the notification bell. You'll always be notified when we're on, regardless of what time zone you're in. So do that and like us, leave a comment. YouTube and Facebook really appreciate that. It helps us go up in the ratings and everything. So we would appreciate that. So,
Well,
all right.
I love your overall rant, but props up to the great
Mhm.
Eagle Man, Thomas Egelhoff. Tom and his elves get this show produced.
Yes, we
He
do.
directs it. He puts it on. He puts it up every day, so he puts it on Facebook so we can see it and then share it. And he's a remarkable human being. He's not just technically brilliant; he's verbally brilliant, and he's got an incredible voice, which he's
Yeah,
won awards for because it's
I
so
know.
luscious. It's a
I know.
luscious
I
voice.
have won awards for my luscious voice. There you
That's
go.
right,
So
baby.
it's better in the morning than it is later in the day.
No,
But
no frogs in that throat.
no frogs here. So all right, folks, that's going to wrap it up for us. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody in the United States. Happy Thursday to everybody in Canada, and we'll see you on our next podcast on Tuesday, and we will hear you on the radio on Saturday. So we hope you'll join us on our weekly radio show, kmmsam.com. All you got to do is click listen now, and that's it. Nothing else to do. So we will see you
Merry Christmas.
yeah, and Merry Christmas too. So it's okay. We can say that now that
Now we can
Thanksgiving is
say it.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Happy
there
New
you go.
Year.
Happy New Year. All right. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll be back.